The tree directly in front of me with the larger leaves, the taller one, there's a few in here and I'll explain those in a moment. The larger one is American Persimmon, Diosporus virginiana. This is a tree we have planted extensively in our landscapes. They are super hardy, very delicious fruit, very late in the season. And what I'd like to do in this video is explain, to the best of my ability, how to look at seedling American persimmons to identify if they are male or female. American persimmons are considered dioecious, meaning there are trees with distinct male reproductive parts and female trees. The fruit is borne on female trees, and so it's worth noting if you're growing them from seed who you've got. And luckily we've got flowers starting to happen right now. And so I'm going to show you a few different trees and, to the best of my ability, give you a clear identification on if they are male or female. This is the same tree from the very first shot, and I know that this is a female American persimmon because last fall it bore a whole lot of fruit. And so I've gone back through and identified the difference between their flowers and the male flowers. Here are some immature female flowers of American persimmon, just getting ready to open up. They flower very, very late, so they escape early spring frost, which is an amazing benefit. But what you'll notice is that the flowers are on the larger side and they are singular. There's one here, one there, one there, one there, one there. You get the idea. There's some space in between each of the flowers. Let's look at a male tree. Here's a seedling persimmon. I would guess this is about 8 or 9 years old from seed, that has never borne fruit, and so I suspected it was a male. They were a male. And now I'm looking at the flowers for this year's flower moment, and they're pretty distinct from the female tree in that there are multiples at each flower node. You can see there's a few there, as opposed to the female where it was a singular flower bud at each of the nodes where fruit could be produced. The males seem to have triplet flowers and are more numerous overall. There are many reasons why I love American persimmon as a tree in our landscape. The fact that the fruit starts to drop around Thanksgiving, and in very cold winters they'll hold on and shed a little bit of fruit every day last year until February, which is pretty amazing. The flavor is a little bit like a mix between a tangerine and a caramel, and they're just incredibly amazing at drawing in deer. And here I am walking out into a spot in the woods. Another reason why I love American persimmon. You can see there's a whole bunch of them here. These were planted in 2009. These are now very mature trees. They were first year, second year seedlings back then, so they are 12 or 13 years old. And so they've really revealed who's female, who's male. And I know that this tree has never produced fruit. This tree has produced fruit every single year, never produced fruit, and is starting to. Let's look at their flowers. This beautiful tree, one of our favorites, very heavy producer each year, distinctly a female top to bottom. And here we are seeing that picture of the female American persimmon flower again, singular, large, quite beautiful. They'll open up soon enough. Here's another one just beginning to open up. Simple, glossy, beautiful flower. That is a female flower on an American persimmon. That will make fruit this fall. And this gentleman just to the north of her is providing the pollen to make sure every fruit has a viable seed. And again, his flowers, let's get that focused, more numerous in triplets often. So way more numbers of flowers, and with a pattern of generally 3 flowers in a cluster, and that's a male. Now, could very well be there's some bits I'm missing. It could be possible that there'll be a little bit of female mixed in with a male here or there, and so a tree might have mainly male parts and a little bit of female. I've heard that possible with persimmon, but by and large, if you're growing American persimmon from seed, or if you're identifying them in the woods, it's good to know around June or so when they flower that you've got female or you've got male. I hope this is helpful to you. It took me 6 years of looking at persimmons to finally map out in my mind, okay, I've eaten fruit from this one 4 years in a row. I've never eaten fruit from that one. And let's map that back to the flowers. So that's my interpretation. Let me know if I'm missing something. But there you go, American Persimmon, Diosporus virginiana, tolerant of shade and full sun, moisture and dryness, hardy down to zone 4 or so, fruit very late in the fall. They flower very late in the summer, avoiding frosts. The leaves have a tremendous amount of tannin, so even with heavy deer browse, they tend to be able to make it to the canopy, and they are a superlative white ash replacing tree for those of you that are dealing with emerald ash borer, like that ghost we've got above these two beauties right here. Can't say enough positive things about them, and now you can know a little bit more about who's a lady and who's a gentleman if you want to use that heteronormative stuff in the way you describe your trees. Thanks for watching.